Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Pro Wrestling with ADHD podcast. I am your host, as part of the norm, Shooter Storm, and I'm sitting here this morning, and I have not been outside yet today. However, the window is open in this room, and I am freezing. So I'm assuming that it might be cold out. Probably not. It's probably like 90, but it feels like it's in the 60s or something. I don't even know. I hate cold weather, as anybody that's followed this channel realizes that I do hate it with everything that I am in the whole entire world. Like, I wish I could just have snow on like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, then fuck off. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. What I wanted to do today is I wasn't sure if I was going to do a podcast. However, I decided after yesterday, after receiving something pretty awesome in the mail, I was going to do a quick podcast and discuss, talk about some of his writings and things of that nature. A guy who I've looked up to in the pro wrestling business for the last 20 years, I've been in this business 20 years, and I looked up to him far before that, and Smoky Mountain, WCW, WWF, now, of course, All Elite Wrestling from the start, from day one. And it is the complete list of Jericho 30, super cool. Look at that badass photo of him on the back. Looking, at least he always had like such good posture, and he just always did such douchey looks, and that's what did it for me with Jericho, because it was like and he still does douchey things, and it's awesome. That's what makes Chris Jericho part of what makes Chris Jericho. I will say that I'm jealous in this way, and that is, I am so jealous that I never, during my years traveling heavily in pro wrestling as an independent wrestler, not a contracted guy, I did extra work with WWE. I did, things of that nature. I appeared on their pay-per-view a couple years ago. I did, years ago, I was brought in as well for an audition to be Hornswoggle. However, I did not get the job as I was too tall. Rey Mysterio won the championship, the World Heavyweight title, that weekend at WrestleMania, and they didn't want a leprechaun taller than their heavyweight champion, so they ended up finding Dylan, and they ended up hiring him. It was only 5 years in my career, and I was like, I was a baby. I had no idea what I was doing. Now, like, I know that I absolutely don't ever want to work for WWE. Like, I'll do extra stuff. I don't care, like, whatever. Give me $800 to do nothing, or to just show up, or to eat your great food, or whatever. That's, 3-day loop. They give you like 800 or whatever. So, but I just know that, like, everybody that I talk to that's worked there, everybody that does work there that I talk to, people aren't happy. They don't love it there. They just don't love it there. Like, and I mean, there's also that fact that I'm not 6 foot and I'm not 200 pounds. So there's that aspect of why I'm not working there, but I don't want to. Like, as soon as AEW showed up, I knew AEW was the place that I was going to focus on, and I don't mind if I'm there as a wrestler, along with my big, bad, beautiful bodyguard Atlantis behind me. That is my real-life fiance as my bodyguard. I also, I guess, knew right from the get-go that even if I was brought in as a manager, because I'm a promo guy. I've always been a promo guy. I don't cut a promo that's good and then go and shit the bed. Like, in the ring, it's not like that, but like, I'm a storyteller, with drawing the people into the venues and doing that kind of stuff. And I've wrestled for so many different promotions over the years, and I remember there was this one company right in Orlando that ran, probably like quarterly, whatever, 4 shows a year, and I was their champ, their heavyweight champ, and I guess what was so funny about being that is the fact that, well, I'm a smaller guy, but I would just keep beating these guys they put in front of me. Matt Bourne played Doink the Clown that night, and I pinned him. It was one of the final two matches he had before he passed away in 2012. It's probably why he died, because he had to lose to me. Jesus, I died too. But yeah, it's I wish I'd always get put in there in front of, because I build these shows, like I cut promos leading into the matches. I wrestled New Jack, and I'm alive, and him and I became such close personal friends, through it all. He told me, and these were his exact words. Obviously, we can't get those words now unless I find it in old messages, text messages, or Facebook messages between us. But he told me I was the best indie guy that he's ever been in the ring with. In fact, he says that on his video shoot that he did in 2012, I think. He talked about it. In fact, he sent me a copy of the book because of the honorable, or a copy of the DVD because of the honorable mention of me in it, which is cool. That's a huge thing, because New Jack's not the easiest to impress. I wouldn't think. People are like, how do you talk to him the way you do? And I'm like, I don't know. What's he gonna do? Like, beat me up? Why would he beat me up? Like, what would he be proving? Nothing. So, pro wrestling has always been a thing that I have wanted. There was never anything other than that I really wanted as my main source of income, my main job, my main career, whatever have you. And it's that kind of, obviously people always told me you have to have something to fall back on, and I do. I'm good in sales. I work a lot of sales jobs, and that kind of stuff. But it's like pro wrestling, I mean? If I'm going to be a good salesman. If I have to promote this piece of shit, right, and it works, so obviously I could handle the stuff in the sales business. But yeah, this complete list of Jericho is why I'm here. And I know, again, it's pro wrestling with ADHD, because I'm all over the place all the time, as we know, and it's just something that happens. But this book, I haven't even really opened it, because I know if I start opening it, I'm going to read through all the towns, because I'm such a big historian with stuff. I like to see I look up old house shows, what matches were on there when. I went to WWF house shows from 1992 on, and I can find those online, some of them. In fact, obviously there's no commentary. It's just a handheld camcorder that people tape, and they send it in, and it's it's called Wrestling Handheld is the name of the page on YouTube, and I absolutely love it. I go there and I'll watch these obscure house shows. I watched a WCW house show where it was by far, I couldn't believe it was WCW. It was inside of a high school gym, and there was 3 rows of people. That's what they drew in there, and it was when Benoit first debuted in WCW. So he wrestled against Eric Watts. So it was, but that was the big one that it really stood out, because obviously being a fan over the years of one of those 2 wrestlers, obviously, and probably not Eric Watts. I was like, man, these guys are busting their ass, working their asses off, in front of 40 people. And I mean, that's a lot of times what independent wrestling is. And I've said it from day one. Because I promote events in my area as well. And if you don't promote, then who's going to show up? I've said this, it's made print, and people can't believe it made print, but it did. I said, if Jesus Christ was coming from heaven and you did not promote the event, nobody's going to show up, because they're not going to know he's going to be there. And that's the truth. You have to, people are like, oh, I'll just do the internet. And, well, that gets you around maybe 8% of your customer. So you're screwing yourself. You're lazy. You're probably just a giant mark that just wants to hang out with the wrestlers. I don't know, to be perfectly fair. I have no idea if that's how it goes. But we have too much of that right now in where I live in New York. And it's, granted, nobody's rent shows up here except me and Dreamer and I rent together, House of Hardcore. We're back a couple years, and that's when I proposed to Katie, and right in the ring after my match, after we defeated the Spirit Squad. So, anyways, yeah, I proposed to her there, and it was super cool. There was about 700 people because small town is what we drew, and that's a good crowd. And all the shows that I've ran for doing Fight for the Mind or doing a sporadic show here, sporadic show there, they've drawn in this area, and it's because I don't think twice about it. Like the Fight for the Mind event, it was negative degrees weather outside, and I was out there flying by myself, snow, like just because it was a benefit show for my mom, and we raised like over $1,000 that night. So that was such a cool thing for me. Excuse me, and so yeah, I just look at this, and I know that even just looking, like skimming through quickly, it shows that obviously this, like Jericho, obviously is big on the promoting game and getting stuff out there. I mean, like I said, you have to let people know you're there. If people don't know you're there, I remember when AEW started up just 2-3 years back or whatever it was, 2019. So 2 years ago, and so much they've done, so much they've grown, so much in just that amount of time. And Jericho, he knew that I want to wrestle him. I want to wrestle him before he gives it up. Before he hangs his boots up for the last time. He's earned it. However, I want to be in like Jericho 32. Like I want to be in there where it says Shooter Storm loses to Chris Jericho at the 12:20 mark to the Judas Effect. Yeah, that would be super awesome. That's what I wanted, and I live in the New York area. Moving to Massachusetts, so we'll be at of course AEW when it is in New York City, the 22nd of September, and as well as when they're in Boston in October. I was just told by a buddy of mine that lives down there that they're going to be there. I've sent a lot of my tapes, a lot of my matches, not just matches but promos now as a manager. I want to come in as a manager. Like, I really would love to be a manager, like just old school style pro wrestling manager. So over the top and outlandish, but like not like Bush League, because I don't do Bush League that well. So what do they call it? Outlaw Mud Show. Cornette, nut job. And I've been a fan of Cornette for years as a manager. Doing business with him was a little shady, but it is what it is. But I do like him in regards to obviously his work. Between him and Bobby Heenan, they were the best managers in wrestling history. Obviously, J.J. Dillon as well. Right up there, of course. Jimmy Hart is right up there, but there's only two that really, to me, are the best, and the GOAT, if you will, as a manager, and it's Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Jim Cornette is number two. Here's a crazy story real quick on Cornette while we're here. July 25th, 1993, one of my birthday gifts was tickets to Raw in Alexandria Bay, New York, at the Bonnie Castle Rec Center. I was like 10. I would have been 11 because I was born in 82. Correct? Okay, good math. Well played. It was Jim Cornette's debut in the WWF. And, like, so what you see on TV wasn't the first time Cornette came out. Cornette came out and he came out and he shit all over the town, which pretty easy to do. And he talked about supposed to be coming to the biggest wrestling company in the entire world, and I'm on here wrestling in a cow barn, or managing a cow barn or whatever, debuting in a cow barn, whatever the hell he said. And people booed him. So that way, when he came out later, what went on TV, people are booing him like the whole world knew who Jim Cornette was. And I remember my brother, he's talked about it with me since my brother's much older than I am, I'm not, he's pretty old. Anyways, he's like, how do you know everyone? I was 11 years old in the next 6 days, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Jim Cornette. I just watched him on the Power Hour, and my brother's like, oh, of course you know everyone. He was so, but yeah, that was Cornette's debut. It was in there, and he also debuted the Heavenly Bodies the same night, which I'm sure I'm going to read about and hear matches with the Heavenly Bodies when Jericho was teaming with Lance Storm as the Thrill Seekers, baby, and they were an awesome tag team. They were like the Rockers of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I would say they were like the Rockers of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Jericho always has given off that rock and roll vibe. Oh, henceforward, I did not snort a line of coke. In fact, of course, there's going to be people out there that I'm sure they're like, oh, snorting drugs in his face, right? Is that what's going on? Just because they jealousy. People are fucking idiots. And no, just got the allergies and I'm freezing here. I'm freezing today. I don't know what the deal is. I just started a new training program, if you will. Worked out heavily this morning, but just got some new stuff to take in the mail, and so I haven't taken said stuff for 13 years. Or that's a lie, about 10 years. I was gonna say 2013 was the last time, so maybe it's different. And there's one of them I've never taken. I've taken two different things, to help physically, and one of them I took. Obviously, it's something at my age is probably needed, and then the other thing is not quite an anabolic or anything, but it is something that I've never taken before, but hey, I got it, and I took it this morning, so I don't know if it was a side effect or something that makes me cold and chilly, and I don't know. I have zero idea, but I got a long sleeve shirt on. The picture I posted on Twitter, advertising that I'm going to have the link up shortly, actually did not, I had a tank top on, and then I started freezing, and I was like, man, I gotta put a hoodie on or something, so I found this cool looking jacket thing that I never wear, but I had a Rangers hat on, which was blue and red, so I figured let's go down the same avenue and put on a blue long sleeve shirt, so that's what I did. So yeah, guys, honestly, the reason I came on today was, like I said, to promote Jericho 30. I know it is almost sold out. It was a book that no publisher grabbed. They told Chris that he would probably, I listened to him, obviously. I think I might have discussed this. I don't remember if I already talked about this, but I'm going to again real quick, just in case I didn't. And his book, he published this himself and put it out for sale on his own. And he said it's almost sold out, so whatever publishers decided to say that it wasn't going to do anything, I don't really think that's, I don't think they're very smart. They obviously had no idea. I mean, it's Chris Jericho. His name alone sells stuff. Why do you think he was the first AEW champion? He's such a recognizable name. People are like, oh, some people are like, oh, it's going to be Kenny Omega. No, because at that time, nobody knew Kenny Omega in the United States. I mean, obviously, the diehards did, but a lot of people, unless you were in Japan watching New Japan's pay-per-views, Wrestle Kingdom and those things, you had no idea what a Kenny Omega was. But that's why that whole first year is when you learn to build people, and having Jericho as your guy, people are like, wow, we should take some interest in this. Chris Jericho is the heavyweight champion. You know what I mean? Like, if they would have started the company, Tony Khan would have called me and been like, hey, man, we're thinking about putting the belt on you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, we should watch that company. Shooter Storm is the heavyweight champion. I don't know, guys. I just think that everything that AEW's done, I mean, they've had a few hiccups, but you know what I mean? And of course they get completely, like, destroyed when they make one error. There's like 99 things good, and then they mess up one thing, and it's like, forget it. And those are those WWE shows. That's what's going on in the internet wrestling community. All these WWE marks, it's like, wow. The ratings haven't been showing it for what a Monday should be. AEW is coming very close, and from what we find out, tonight's Dynamite in Houston, and then 2 nights away, Friday, is in Chicago, Allstate Arena, First Dance, heavily rumored. Obviously, I'm 100% positive, just because I know nobody's denied it, and Tony Khan absolutely wouldn't do that. Like, so, go right to Chicago. There's something big happening, and I truly believe and hope so that CM Punk is coming back and he's all elite. Do they need him? No. Do I think he will be a needle mover? 100%. 100%. And the rumor that Daniel Bryan is already signed to AEW, that's been going around. Don't know how true it is. I have friends in AEW, but I'm not a mark. I don't want to message them and be like, hey man, like, what's the scoop on DB or BD over there in AEW? Like, who does that? Like, I know a lot of people that do, but I just don't want to do that. Excuse me. Whoa, I had a hiccup and a yawn. Oh, excuse me, burp. All of it combined. So, it's going to be historic, guys. Either way, it's going to be historic. This next week is going to be super, super cool. I can't wait to see, these people coming in, these needle movers. Like, obviously, at the beginning, Jericho was a needle mover to get people to watch, and have him as the champion. That brings in people. Everybody knew who Chris Jericho was, and Chris Jericho was cool. So yeah, people are gonna turn into that. Just like Aleister Black over there now, Malachi Black. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life, and I've been friends with his wife since probably 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in there. So now I got along real good with was Aleister at the time, because his wife, talked to him and let him know, hey, I know this guy, I've known him forever, met him through Dreamer and blah, blah, blah. So it's too bad she couldn't have went over there too, so they could work together. I know the thought was she re-signed because of the feeling that she'd be able to work with her husband, and then they let him go. Like, they're crazy. But there's a few crazies there. I mean, you got Vince, who's 75, out of touch, has no idea what the hell's going on. I mean, he's a genius. He was a genius. I don't know what he's trying to do right now. If he's trying to sabotage his own company and sabotage Triple H's baby, which was NXT, if he's trying to do that, then, hell, he's a genius, because he's doing it the right way. NXT is the one tolerable show they have. And, just because they got their asses kicked by AEW, just because, well, they didn't even get, I mean, NXT it was all just counter programming. That's all they were trying to do. Now, Vince, it's not competition, but yet, I don't believe you, because now you're punishing Triple H and NXT. All these guys are being released because Triple H wasn't able to beat beat AEW in the ratings, guys. Vince put his son-in-law up to the front of the line to get shot first. Like, that's it. It was the test, and you can't believe you couldn't beat him. And you're not going to beat him. And I will 100% say if they would have put Raw to a Wednesday, I can't guarantee you that Raw would beat him either. And especially the crap they put out. Oh my God. I don't know how people watch that for 3 hours. I have zero idea. I start watching it around 10:30. I have it on DVR. I'm done by noon. Noon. I'm done by noon. I'm done by midnight. Hour and a half. Cut that shit in half. It's amazing. And I actually watched the commercials. I fast forwarded through the shows. No, I'm just kidding. Kinda. But yeah, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna try to wait here, and I'm gonna jump in the shower now that I've worked out and all that good stuff. I'm going to jump in the shower, a nice warm shower, and we've got to go grocery shopping. So that's what we're gonna be doing there, and coming back here tonight, watching some AEW Dynamite, 8 o'clock on TNT. Make sure, guys, just Google. I don't know the actual website I got it on right now, and I can't look it up because I'm not near a computer. It's over there. And, but Google Jericho 30. Order this book. Like, this guy has everything written down from where the event took place, who he wrestled, how he won or how he lost, what the gate was, how much his payday was. Like, incredible. Like, he was a genius before people knew, before people knew he was a genius. And wow, I am leaking stuff, folks. That's when you know you gotta stop recording and probably try to maybe take some, I don't know, Dayquil or something. I don't know. That should work. Dayquil, yeah. You know, being a guy that recovered from drug addiction, you know, I want to make this clear to people. Katie and I were both, you know, we have addiction, and she's been clean for like 6 years. I've been clean for about 3 years, and here's the thing, is like, we never were into like nasty ass shit like heroin or methamphetamine or any of that nasty. Nothing. Gross. Disgusting. All it was with us, both of us, it was painkillers and Xanax. That's like pretty much what it. I mean, I took Klonopin. She was Xanax, but you know what? Now it's like we don't do any of that. So when we're sick, we're like, oh, what do they use for that? You know, because back in the day, you just throw a handful of Vicodin in and call it a good time. But don't do that shit no more. Can't do that anymore. Just don't want to. Just don't want to. Want to live a long, happy life, and you know, this life has so much to offer people, and I really want to live a long life with my girl and my family, and be able to do professional wrestling things, because it's the line of work that I love more than anything. And yeah, guys. So just quick. I know I'm plugging it, and I'm telling you, but make sure you go out, or don't go out because you're not going to find it in a bookstore. Go online, Google Jericho 30, wherever that, it might be just Jericho30.com. I don't know for sure. Just make sure to go on there and look, and order his book, because this is, that's a lot of history in that one book. A lot of history. So, alright guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go grab some Dayquil and see how that treats me. And because I don't want to get drowsy and then have to go grocery shopping and fall asleep in the bananas. You know, it's just shit's not okay. Holy shit! Did you hear that? Oh my god! Name what movie that's from, and drop it in a comment down below. And if you could tell us, the first person to tell me what movie that came from will win a free 8x10 photo of Atlantis and myself. The next one we have coming out, which will be in the next 1 month, we will be having new 8x10s out. So you will win. I will write your name down. The first person to comment what movie that is from has nothing to do with wrestling. It's just I do it and I said it, and If you haven't seen it, I don't know if you're human. So, but just first person comment down below. All right, guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe. That whole thing that they tell you to do on YouTube. Liking the video really helps the algorithm. It helps bring this up so that way people can see what I'm yapping about. And we're trying to build this channel. We do cool stuff on here. We do paranormal investigations. It's our apartment is completely haunted. It's a legit thing. We have a haunted doll as well. Her name is Becca. We're gonna do some stuff with her when she gives us permission. She literally, through the obvious, told us about 2 weeks ago, told us to turn off the camera. So we had to turn off the camera. So yeah, respect her. She's a spirit. She's like a 14-year-old kid. So speaking of 14-year-old kids, also on this channel, we expose child predators and disgusting human beings that try to prey on our kids. And those are the type of people that need to be exposed and need to be shown. Kind of like, even though YouTube decided to take down both videos that we did just recently, and it was, I understand one of them was my fault because when Katie was editing the film, I said, leave the picture of his tiny pecker that he was sending to what he believed to be a 14-year-old boy. And, well, she did, and I just wanted people to see how small his dick was. I thought it was funny, right? And then he went, but then it got reported after, it had 17,000 views in a day. And, I'm not quite up into that high echelon of an Omar Gosh TV or, Jasko. Those guys are awesome. They do great work. Hunting the Dead, Mr. Hunting the Dead, CJ Faison, Sunny Deeds, former wrestler as well. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna end it off. I know I said this already, but this is what happens on this channel. If you guys watch any of my shit, this is how it goes. Real quick, watched the first episode of the Stars television show, Heels. Super good, well put together. It's just good. Whether you're a wrestling fan or not a wrestling fan, you'll figure it out. There's a story in between, people bumping and, doing the deal. So it is what it is. So till next time, I hope that, you guys enjoyed today's podcast. The promoting of this cool book that I wish I would have done what he did so many years ago and just started writing down every single deal, the payday, the venue, the attendance, the whatever, and remember everything. I will say, luckily, there is a cage match database which has all of my matches from 2007 on, but it's missing the first 6 years of my career. But the fact that they have all of that from 2007, just, man, you are the man or the woman, or you have just a really boring life to post all my stuff now and follow my career. But thank you, though, for it. Honestly, it means a lot. And until next time, folks, you all be safe and make sure to follow your dreams, chase them, because they're not going to come after you.